Hi guys, welcome back to my Safe Space Kitchen. So today I'm going to be making homemade tomato sauce. Tomatoes are in season, so what better time to make some good, rich, quality homemade tomato sauce than right now, right? So that's what I'm going to be making today. But in the meantime, if this is your first time coming across my page, this is my Safe Space Kitchen. I make cooking videos and I try to make it as fun as possible. Hit on that subscribe button and hit on the notification bell so you don't miss another video. Now, if you want to learn how to make the best tomato sauce, stay tuned because I got you.
Safe Space Kitchenette. Make room at the table. Come on. Safe Space Kitchenette. It's running by ready. Safe Space.
So here I have my tomatoes. I believe these are beefsteak tomatoes. I could be wrong, but if you're a tomato expert and you come across this video, tell me what these are because I'm not sure. But typically I will get Roma tomatoes. But when I went to the farmer's market, I saw these tomatoes sitting in the corner and it had a price tag of $5. And I asked why it was $5 and she told me that they needed to be used right away because they were going bad. And so I felt them, I touched it, and majority of it was fine. It was just a few of them had, looked like they were really going bad and it needed to be used ASAP. So I opted to buy these instead of Roma tomatoes because I knew that I could use it for tomato sauce. And so all that I'm doing here is I'm simply just cutting off the parts that are no good, the parts that are going bad. And once I get through this, we will continue. You guys, there was no need for me to get Roma tomatoes this was a good deal and I wasn't gonna let this pass me. Like, how are you gonna throw these tomatoes out? How? Like, how? Tomatoes weigh and yes, hey, come on. And see me to chop. Maybe I say no. Now my heading. Now I used to $5. It was such a good deal. Anyway, let's continue. So once I've gotten rid of the parts that are no good, I'm going to go ahead and wash these tomatoes. So in my sink, I go ahead and fill it up with water, drop my tomatoes in, and I add some salt just to wash it, okay? And so I let that salt sit for about 30 minutes. You can use vinegar if you want. Then I give it a rinse, then I rinse it one more time, and then I go ahead and I cut it, okay? The cutting of your tomatoes doesn't need to be perfect because, we're just going to blend these tomatoes. I'm going to repeat this process again because I had 2 bowls of tomatoes and they all need to be cleaned to my preference. Like I said, vinegar or salt will get it done, okay? So that's all that I'm doing here. Same procedure, nothing changes. So off camera, I cut up some onions. What the onion is going to do is it's going to serve as a thickening agent for my sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and blend my tomatoes and my onions.
Come on. Safe Space Kitchenette. It's running by ready. Safe Space Kitchenette.
So once my tomato is nicely blended, the next process is to strain my tomatoes to get rid of the chaff or the pulp. Typically, I know that people would cook the tomatoes and then peel off the skin. You can go that route, but I have a lot of tomatoes and I don't have time to be sitting out here peeling skin from tomatoes. So I just blend it, and thankfully I have a pretty good blender, so it gets a lot of the job done. So here I get rid of that and then I continue to blend and strain. So that's all I'm going to be doing here, just blending and straining until all of my tomatoes is nicely strained without any chaff. So this is all the tomatoes I was able to extract from straining my tomatoes. So here, there's no chaffs. We don't have to worry about that. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm simply going to go ahead and cook this. So I will be cooking my tomatoes on medium heat. If you have time, if you don't have time and you want to cook it on high heat, you can definitely do that, but just pay attention to it because you don't want your tomatoes to burn. So here, the tomatoes in my smaller pot has cooked down. And of course the big one has cooked down a little bit too, and this was after an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and just transfer the tomatoes in the smaller pot into the big pot and just continue to cook it. And I only did this because I don't want to pay attention to two pots, so I just went ahead and just transferred it. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to cook my tomatoes until whenever it's ready. So just cook it on low heat and just pay attention to it. So my tomatoes have been cooking for 4 hours, and as you can see, a lot of the water has evaporated, which has thickened up my sauce, right? And so it's looking really good. This is perfect. This is exactly how I want it. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and add some fresh basil. I literally went downstairs to grab this basil from my plant. I guess that's one of the benefits of planting things in the summertime, right? So I'm really just kind of mushing it just to intensify the flavor and the smell. So, and that's what the basil is going to do to my tomato sauce. It's going to give it a good smell, and it's going to intensify the flavor. And so yeah, this I go ahead and I cook this for about 30 minutes, on low heat. And then once it's done, I go ahead and I turn it off, because this is perfect. This is the consistency that I want, and it's done. So once my tomato is completely cooled, I go ahead and I chop up my basil. Now this is completely optional. You don't have to do this, but I prefer to do it this way because I don't like the big basils just sitting in the tomatoes. So this is the consistency of my sauce, and it is perfect for me. I'm going to use my sauce for mostly tomato stew and soups, so this consistency is perfect for me. If you don't like this consistency and you want it a little bit looser, then definitely cook it for about 2 hours and you should be good. Or just reduce the onions and you should be good, because onion is a thickening agent and it will thicken up your sauce. So this is how I store my tomato sauce. I simply just vacuum seal it and I store it in my freezer. Before I vacuum seal it, I make sure that I let a lot of the air out, and I just seal it and I freeze it. When frozen, it's good for anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on how fast you're going to use it. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, mine go pretty fast because I have a family to feed. But this is how I store it. Like I was telling you, I let a lot of the air out, so when I'm sealing it, there's literally no air in it, just like what you're seeing right now. And then I seal it, and that's it. I put it in my freezer and I use it whenever I need it. But yeah, you guys, this is the end of this video. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch my video today. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Help a girl grow her channel. I'm working on putting out a lot of videos, but you guys, nobody tells you about the editing, okay? And if you're not a pro, it's difficult, okay? But I'm working really hard on it. I'm, watching a lot of videos to try to perfect it. So hopefully, in the months to come, you're gonna get a lot of videos. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Hit on the like button for me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll see you in my next video.